What's up, everybody? Scooter again. I realized after someone commented on my video that I didn't do any plumbing videos. And I've already done plumbing, so it's done. And I figure, seeing as how he asked, I should probably explain how I did that. So here's a little short video on how I plumbed it. Some of the small things I did because I couldn't find some of the parts. And this is the simplest way I saw to get it done without having to do a bunch of new line bending. So here we go. Let me turn the camera around and I'll show you how I did it. So here's the car. Master and brake booster in. Those are the instructions that come with all that. Is pretty good. It fills you in pretty well. The proportioning valve kind of hangs in there up backwards per se. I mean, kind of, sort of. These lines are pre-bent, so I just use those. Didn't make sense to try to change them up. But in the proportioning valve, there are two front brake line ports. This is one of them, and it comes with a plug for that. So I plugged that one. This is the back brake line, and it came with the adapter. And then I went to the auto parts store and just bought some brake line, and I flared it and I started bending it. So, and then the other front brake line I didn't cap, comes from right there. So how it used to run is there's a distribution block, I guess I would call it, down here, which is right there. And the front brake line, or the brake line, used to come out of the master and go to right here, and then the back brake line came off where that little nut, that cap is, and then driver's side brake line, passenger side brake line, right there. That cap I made. I took I had more flare nuts than I had caps or plugs, I guess, and I couldn't find one at the local parts store, so I just did that. What I did was I took a line, I flared it, stuck the nut on it, cut it flush, and then I brazed the end, and then jammed it in there so that it would seal properly. But at any rate, where that plug is where the back brake line used to come out of, and here's the old back brake line is right here. And then I just used the proper union, which is flared. So each side of this brake line is flared to that nut, to that union. And then I bent that up and came to the T that is supplied with the kit. And then I put my old brake light switch in here. The car is still 6-volt positive ground. I don't think it really would have mattered. I could have put the new one in, but the old one's not bad, so I left it in there. And then just ran it up and bent it like that. And then the front brake line kind of did the same thing, down and down. So that was pretty much it. Everything's installed now. You really see that plug that I made right there. It's not very pretty, but it does the job. And I didn't have to move that brake line, the old back brake line, very much. Here's the rubber line. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's how I plumbed it. Pretty simple. I think at least that's the simplest way I could have thought to do it, instead of running multiple unions. I only had to get one union and only had to flare that together, and everything else was pretty much put it together and plumb it. So hopefully that explains that side of it and how I personally did it. The lines were already ran and they were all pre-bent and already installed, so instead of doing all the work of running new ones, I just reused the old ones, and they're not bad. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how I got her done. Take it easy, everybody.